Good evening. Welcome to the February 5th, 2024 meeting of the Stillwater City Council. At this time, I will call the meeting to order and ask that you all stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, everybody. Before we get started on the consent docket here, I wanted to take a second and recognize some college students who are with us here this evening, part of the local leaders. I'm going to let Councilor Harden give us a proper introduction.
Okay.
But we appreciate you all being here.
So Dean Kirtley, Associate Dean Kirtley, reached out to me 2 or 3 months ago and said he would like to try to get a program started in the College of Engineering, much like Leadership Stillwater. And he said, would the city back it? Like, I can't do that in that short period of time. My Rotary Club is going to help with it. But anyway, we have 14 or so students here tonight. They're all engineering students. They are the brightest and best in the College of Engineering. And one of their assignments was to get involved in local government. So please, let's all welcome them here tonight.
We do appreciate you all being here. Did you have more? Is that it? Okay. I thought you were pulling out a piece of paper to start reading a speech. We do appreciate you all being here. Certainly appreciate you taking interest in local government while you're here at OSU. And we hope to see you at more meetings and see you get engaged in all kinds of local issues here in Stillwater. So. All right. We will start tonight on item 3, which is the consent docket. Councilors, questions, comments, or action on the consent docket?
I move approval of the consent docket.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent docket. Please vote. With a vote of 5-0, the consent docket is approved. First, next up, item 6, public hearings. Receive public comment regarding a request for a map amendment to rezone properties addressed as 6001 and 6099 North Perkins Road from small lot single family RSS to general industrial. This is CC-24-12. Ms. Carnley, did we have good notice?
Yes, we do.
Jacqueline. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and council members. Jacqueline Porter, City Planner, presenting the map amendment request by Pintel Properties, LLC to rezone the properties addressed as 6001 and 6099 North Perkins Road from small lot single-family residential to general industrial to allow the ability to construct a new building for their business. The property is located on the southeast corner of the intersection of North Perkins and East Burris Road. Here is an aerial of the subject property. The Canyon subdivision is located to the west, and North Tower Park subdivision is located further south out of this picture. Here is a street view looking southeast towards the subject property off of North Perkins Road. The current zoning of the property is RSS with similar zoning to the south and west. Commercial shopping is located to the north, and general industrial and agriculture is located to the east. The subject properties, along with the properties to the south addressed as 5823 and 5911 North Perkins, were rezoned in 2022 from general industrial to the current zoning of RSS in the anticipation to plat the residents for a residential use. Unfortunately, the pursuance to develop the area for the residential subdivision did not come into fruition. As the future land use map that was adopted with the 2030 comprehensive plan shows the desired use of the community at the time of the adoption of the comp plan, requested that this area be commercial along Perkins Road strip and then high density located to the east. Are there any questions for staff?
Councilors, any questions?
I had a question.
Yes.
So I know we recently rezoned this to residential. Has there been any additional residential development or plans for residential around this property? I'm just thinking this is a large zoning shift to go from, or it was
Right.
prior and also now, to go from industrial to residential. If somebody adjacent had planned for residential development next to this, what now will be industrial, that seems
So
that could be
I
challenging.
don't think you can't really see it. Over on Jardot and Burris, there is a subdivision which is large lot, single family, which is Stillwater 74, and that's the closest that we have of any residential development occurring in this area other than the canyons. So
So the the lots south that are RSS, did we rezone those at the same time?
Yes.
Are they the same property owner?
yes, at that time, yes. Now they sold the north half to the applicants, and I don't know what they did with the bottom. So
But there aren't currently houses where it's got RSS?
correct,
Okay.
There aren't, or there are?
there aren't.
Okay. That was all rezoned RSS 2 years ago, or less than 2 years ago. And now the top half wants to go back to industrial general.
Correct.
And the bottom half is still just vacant land.
Correct.
But the applicant here for this rezoning does not own the bottom half.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Further questions? This time I'll open the public hearing. I don't have anyone signed up to speak on the matter. And I think we have the applicant here. Do you all have anything you guys want to add? All right, I'll close the public hearing. Jacqueline, what was the Planning Commission's recommendation?
Planning Commission recommended approval of 5-0.
All right, thank you. Counselors?
Motion to approve Planning Commission's recommendation?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Planning Commission recommendation. Please vote. It's approved with a vote of 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Next up is item 7, resolutions. Resolution number CC-2024-4, a resolution of the City Council establishing the Washington School Advisory Committee. And Brady Moore is going to tell us a little bit more about this.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. Resolution CC 2024-4 establishes a Citizen Advisory Committee for the purpose of advising the City Council regarding the restoration and redevelopment of the Washington School. As you may remember, in December of 2022, the city acquired the Washington School property at 619 West 12th Avenue with funds that were donated to the city. The purpose of the donation was that to the city was for the preservation of the Washington School original structures and the surrounding land for uses of education, historical displays, sports recreation, events, and parking. The resolution before you will establish a 5-member citizen committee to be known as the Washington School Advisory Committee that will consist of at least 1 member that is a member of the Washington School Alumni Association. The duties of this Washington School Advisory Committee shall be to advise and make recommendations to the City Council regarding the assessment, proposed design, the renovation, or the redevelopment of the building and the property from planning through construction in order to meet the primary objective of executing improvements to the building for future use of education, sports, recreation, events, and parking. I'll pause now to answer any questions that you have. And
Counselors?
My only question, assuming we approve this, is if someone is interested in being on the advisory board, how would they go about doing that?
yes, it's a great question. So like all of our citizen boards applications can be filled out on our online form. That's at stillwaterok.gov. And as you may be aware, there's been a group of citizens, active citizens, including members of the Washington School Alumni Association that have been involved with the cleanup and some of the visioning already for the Washington School group, and they'll be submitting applications, I believe, as well.
So the same application process as for any advisory
Yes.
board? Great.
Yes. And we'd like to bring those recommendations to you on the 26th, so a few weeks to get applications in.
Anything further? Any further questions? I think we have a member of the the Washington School Alumni Association, Karen Washington, that's here tonight. Wanted to say a few words about this.
Good evening. First thing I'd like to say is thank you in advance for considering the resolution, and we're hoping and praying that you approve it. So thank you in advance for that. Washington School is a very, very important part of our community. It makes us whole again. So I am definitely glad that we were able to get the school back. Unofficially, we've had some working on it. Like you said, we've had to clean up on it. Unofficially, we planned a fundraiser, which is a sports banquet fundraiser. So there's 4 members that was on the team that took state that really wasn't recognized. There's 4 left living. So we're gonna recognize them on February the 24th at 5:30. I encourage everyone to come. It's also a fundraiser so that we can put money into the school. So that's an unofficial team. So we're looking for the official team that we can keep moving forward to make this happen. It is very, very important. It's some good history there. And unfortunately, some of the people that was living at one point, we had 402 members that was in our association. I'm down to less than 60. Wow. They either gone because of age, because of the aging of the school, and because of the people who went there. So I'm very hopeful and very appreciative if we get a resolution approved so that we can make this school a part of our community as it should be. Thank you so much.
Hey, Karen, before you leave, I'm seeing some confused faces over here. Would you mind explaining just a little bit more about what Washington School is and why it's important to our community?
Washington School was an all-black school in Stillwater. It was in a community which we call the Village, and we would call it the Ville. So the black people were confined from 9th Street down, from Adams over to Duck. That's where the black people had to stay. So they had their own laundromats, they had their own grocery stores, they had everything they needed to survive. So for them, it was a good thing. It sounds like it might not have been because of segregation, but they made the best out of it. So it was a family knit, that everybody took care of each other in the Ville. So that history, though, is a part of Stillwater, even though they were limited to that area of Stillwater. But it's a good history that needs to be told because it makes us complete. I don't know anybody who goes forward having looking back. I can't do another good budget if I ain't looked at the old budget. I can't be a good doctor if I ain't look at some old procedures. So for me, that's how the community can be whole again. Look back and see what happened so we can make it the best community that we can going forward.
Great, thank you.
And
You're welcome.
you said the fundraiser and recognition was going to be February 24th at 5:30. Is it at the Washington School?
No, it's at the Stillwater Community Center.
Stillwater Community Center.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank
Karen.
you.
Thank you to you and the association for your steadfast support and work to make sure we got to this point. And we're looking forward to seeing more done at Washington School. All right, counselors, questions, comments, or action on the resolution?
Motion to adopt resolution CC-2024-4.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Please vote. The vote of 5-0, that resolution is adopted. We look forward to seeing folks who are interested in serving on this board, and we'll get those folks appointed as quickly as we can and get moving forward. Item 8, ordinances. Ordinance number 3531, an ordinance rezoning attractive land located at 6001, 6099 North Perkins Road from small lot single-family residential, RSS to general industrial district. This is from the action earlier this evening. Is there a motion on the ordinance?
I move to advance ordinance 3531 to second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to advance the ordinance to second reading. Please vote. With a vote of 5-0, that ordinance will be advanced to second reading. Takes us to item 9, which is appointments to our Board of Adjustment. We have we have an expired term, we have a vacant seat on the Board of Adjustment, and we've got a few people who have applied and are interested in serving on that board. I am going to move that we appoint Brian Langford Loftus to the unexpired to the seat that is I guess the non-vacant seat that expires in 224, and that we appoint Micah Sexton to the vacant seat.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on those appointments. Please vote. With a vote of 5-0, Brian Langford Loftus and Micah Sexton are appointed to the Board of Adjustment. We greatly appreciate their willingness to serve on that board, which plays a big role in matters of appeal and variances and that sort of thing when it comes to our building codes and city codes. And so we really appreciate their service there. Reports from the officers on the board. Ms. Carnley.
Nothing to report.
Ms. Meek.
City offices will be closed for President's Day on Monday, February 19th. Trash, recycling, and yard waste will still be collected. Make sure to set your carts out by 6 a.m. because collection routes can vary. For more information, go to stillwaterok.gov/waste management.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor.
Yes. Tomorrow, February 6th, is the official groundbreaking ceremony for Block 34 at 2 p.m. You're invited to join us for the groundbreaking ceremony at Block 34. We are excited to celebrate the construction of our community gathering space that will include the Kicker Soundstage and the Simmons Pavilion. The groundbreaking event, you're getting your swag out?
I haven't even opened it yet.
The groundbreaking event will include Kicker show vehicles, specialty cookies, chicken sandwiches, lemonade, courtesy of the Roundhouse Bakery, official groundbreaking swag, I'm assuming that's part of it, and more. Many thanks to the Kicker family, Simmons Bank, and others who have made this community space possible. Also, please know there will be roadway construction beginning soon to address the streets in this area. Funds for the road repairs are in part available due to citizens approving the transportation sales tax through the Time Initiative. For more information, go to stillwaterok.gov/block 34. Just truly an exciting event for our community. The discussion around Block 34 has loomed large for a really long time, and it's very exciting to see dirt being moved and just the plans and the investment that our community is making in this space.
Absolutely. Very exciting. And I say all the time when we talk about projects, I just want to see shovels in the ground. And we're going to see shovels in the ground tomorrow at Block 34. So please come out and join us. Councilor Hawkins.
If you would like to get involved in your local government, we have many boards and committees for consideration. The city is accepting applications for a citizen representative to serve on the audit committee. The vacancy needs to be filled by someone with business experience. The committee consists of 5 members and it is a term length of 3 years. For more information or to apply online, go to stillwaterok.gov/citizen boards.
Thank you. Councilor Clark.
If you're looking for an environmentally friendly way to save money on your water bill, you may want to purchase a rain barrel through the city of Stillwater. These barrels capture water from your roof and store it for future use. Using rain barrels also helps to reduce stormwater pollution by minimizing the amount of stormwater runoff that leaves the site. Mail-in order forms are due by April 26th, and online orders are due by April 28th. For more information, visit stillwaterok.gov or email Zach at zack.henson@stillwater.org. You can also call 405-533-8436. And I will add that I have one of the rain barrels from the city of Stillwater, and you will be amazed how quickly a 55-gallon drum fills up off of your roof. So you need an overflow plan. And there are devices available also through that same website that are options for how to do that. So
it's good to know. Thank you. Councilor Harden.
It's that time of year. It is. Let me turn the mic on. It's that time of year, everybody's favorite time, the time to file taxes. And the Stillwater Library is offering assistance. Community members can schedule appointments for free tax preparation from the American Association of Retired Persons, that's AARP, by visiting stillwaterok.gov/library taxes. You can call the library's help desk at 405-372-3633, extension 8106, or stop by the library in person during regular hours. There are a limited number of appointments available, so anyone with the ability to prepare taxes by alternative methods should consider doing so to ensure enough appointments are available for those in the community who rely on this service the most. So welcome to tax time, folks.
Thank you. I will let you all know to save the date to join us on Tuesday, February 13th at 5 p.m. for a community meeting about Stillwater's comprehensive plan. So our comprehensive plan got mentioned earlier tonight in talking about our rezoning issue, and this is a plan that takes into account what the Stillwater community wants to see in our town over the next 10 to 15 to 20 years. And so we want to hear your voice and collectively determine what those next 20 years of a healthy and successful Stillwater will look like. So this event will be at the Stillwater Community Center, 315 West 8th. For more information, you can go to stillwaterok.gov. So again, Tuesday, February 13th, 5 p.m. at the Community Center, a community meeting on our comprehensive plan. I see nothing further on the agenda for the council. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
With a motion and a second to adjourn the city council meeting, please vote. The vote of 5-0, the city council is now adjourned. At this time, if you guys, that was quick, so I'm sure everybody still wants to see more city business done. So at this time, I will call to order the Stillwater Economic Development Authority meeting for February 5th, 2024. First up on the consent docket, questions, comments, or action on consent, trustees?
Motion to approve the consent docket.
Second.
With a motion and a second to approve consent, please vote. The vote of 5-0, the consent docket is approved. Under item 5, we have presentation of our quarterly economic development report from the Stillwater Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Ms. Zanotti. I don't get to call you Counselor or Vice Mayor Zanotti anymore, do I?
No. Good evening, trustees. Elaine Zanotti with the Stillwater Chamber of Commerce. Wanted to let you know that this report tonight is going to be a little bit different in the fact that we do not have a current economic development director. And so you are stuck with me as far as the presentation. One of the things that I'm going to talk about in my report are some strategic thoughts and plans for the year moving forward as far as how this report will be given, and just some benchmarks as we look at the contract with the city and with the Chamber of Commerce. For the group that's sitting over here, when we do economic development in the city of Stillwater, we actually have a contract with the city of Stillwater with the Chamber of Commerce to do economic development, because 9 times out of 10, a business wanting to locate to a community doesn't necessarily want to deal with these lovely people right off the bat. The Chamber really is the front porch into any community, and so we're the ones that kind of greet them and give them kind of that overall view of the community. And then as they really decide they want to be a part of this, then that's where their expertise and their knowledge on city utilities, water, all of that come into play, and that's how businesses get going. So I'm responsible for ensuring that the money they give us to help them do their job goes where it needs to go. So one of the things that we did in the last part of last year was finish up a program that came about when I was doing 100 visits in 100 days to small businesses, Small Business University. One of the things small businesses said was they have their idea, they've opened their doors up, business is going great, and all of a sudden they haven't thought about, I have no idea what I need to do for marketing. I don't have a big marketing budget. I don't know if I need an attorney. How do I do payroll? So the Chamber decided this was a perfect opportunity for the Chamber and Economic Development to partner and collaborate and work with Meridian Technology Center, Oklahoma State University Small Business Development Center, and the Chamber to put on a 6-session, 12-week program for small businesses who have opened their doors, as well as individuals who either were thinking about starting a business, or some of the businesses actually were going to try and branch out from what they currently had. So we did that, and what we did was for each session, there was a topic, and we started from anything from you think you have an idea, so how do you do a business plan, to social media. How do you use social media? It's very different from your personal social media account than your business account. Payroll, finance, and then we partnered with area businesses that maybe had gone through a challenge with that, and then a professional who did that. So for example, for social media, we had our own Grace Welch with the Chamber of Commerce talk to them about how to do your business account. And it was, we had probably about 15 people there. We had 25 people that came, and then it kind of fluctuated depending on the topic. We didn't expect everybody to be there every time. It was really designed to be what met their need and what they needed the most. The goal at the end was for those individuals who perhaps had a business idea to have a viable business plan in place, and for those who already had a business open, maybe have some more support and contacts with them in order to make their business successful. We had, our last session was judges came and judged their business plans, and then based on some funding we got through the contract with the city and then some the chamber had, we did a $4,000 scholarship to the business that was selected by the judges. And the judges were Daniel Thrasher, incoming chair for the Stillwater Chamber of Commerce Board, Andrew Ranson with West Watkins Center for Innovation and Development, Melissa Wiles, who is owner of Whispers, small business here, and Pat Crane, who works for Meridian Technology Center. And so the judges were very, very pleased. Great program. You have to start something once to see what works and what needs to branch out, and so we're going to tweak it. We're actually going to break 2 groups up. It was a great thought in theory to try and do those that are wanting to start a business and those that already had a business together, and some of those topics do blend together, but there really is a special need for those that are trying to start a business and those who already have a business. And so, but we had to start somewhere, and it was a really, really positive. So we were very, very excited about that. It also was a way to connect with the individuals who have the knowledge. The chamber is not the one that stores all the knowledge. It's the chamber's responsibility to reach out and connect with those that do. And so we were proud about that. The other thing we did last part of that, of 2023, we worked with the Department of Commerce, who gave us a grant to have a company called the Site Selection Group come in and look at an area potentially for development in Stillwater. And they chose the west side of the airport. And they did a wonderful study, spent a lot of time, had a lot of good information, came back and presented to us. But as Reagan and I were talking about, we need to have one more step in this, we invited them to come back to the December Economic Development Committee at the Chamber and present to them the information. To me, that's another layer of touch points that needs to happen with economic development. As we talk about things that need to happen in Stillwater, we need to have some intentional touch points with individuals and businesses that can make a difference and maybe give input. For those of us who see it every day, it's nice to have a set of fresh eyes look at it. And so very, very good positive feedback from that committee meeting, and it led us to believe that that's a good way to do. We also are going to work with the Site Selection Group to perhaps do some marketing for the Commerce Place land that's still left that the Chamber owns on Perkins Road. They are professionals in that, and I think it's a good step in that direction. The other thing that happens when you're doing economic development is we have had a lot of interest in the Armstrong facility, which is good because that has been empty for a while. I think part of that is due to U.S. Air Rare Earth, and then I think it just seems to happen towards the end of the year. We had a lot of RFPs. So I learned how to do an RFP and sent in 3 specifically for the airport, and thanks to Brady and the city team who actually helped me learn how to do all those spreadsheets and things like that. Want to give a shout out. One of the things that I'm excited about is we partner very closely with Oklahoma City Greater Chamber of Commerce. We're part of a regional partnership that includes a 10-county range, and these are the 10 counties that we specifically look at working together when we talk about economic development. So when the Greater Oklahoma City Chamber gets information about a business that wants to locate potentially in Oklahoma, due to the information that we share with them as far as what land is available, what buildings are available, what our population is like, our community, they are actually able to disseminate and send us things that make sense to us rather than getting an email full of things that don't make sense to our community. So I find that very, very, very positive. One of the things we haven't grown as much is our Tulsa partnership, and so I'm actually going in a few weeks to do the Tulsa Regional Partnership to think about ways that we can also do on the northeast side of the state and think about ways that we need to do that, and so I'm looking forward to that. The other thing that I'm excited about is I actually am able to announce that we actually have hired a new economic development director. Yes, I want to give a big shout out. When I took this role a year ago as the Chamber President and CEO, my wheelhouse is not economic development. I do believe strongly that that is where economic development needs to be housed in the Chamber, but the Chamber needs to go alongside the city and the economic development in collaboration and partnership in order to drive what's happening in our community. And so I asked Brady Moore and I asked Justin Hazard to help be on the search committee with me because I felt they gave great lenses into interviewing and candidates and applicants. So we went through and we actually have offered it to a woman named Carrie Moore. She lives here in Stillwater. She has been very, very instrumental in a company called Empire Roofing that is based in Oklahoma but also has expanded into Kansas thanks to her vision for expanding business and being able to think creatively when it came to COVID and how you do roofing in COVID. One of the things that I loved about her, and Brady can probably attest to this, is I truly think she wants to be a part of transforming this community and being instrumental in the impact that we have going on with economic development, and I think she is the right person. She's going to start with us on Monday, February 26th, and I look forward to bringing her to the next meeting to have you guys meet her. The other thing I want to talk about as we think about this new year is strategic planning and thinking about things that are happening economic development-wise. Our community is on a roll. We're on a momentum. And I think it's so important that our community is seeing the things that are happening. And I think, as the mayor said, putting shovels in dirt is important. You know, we can talk about things that are coming, but until the shovels get in the dirt, it's hard to think that's happening. I think we're starting along that route, and I want us to continue that momentum. But I also want to be able to relate and tell Stillwater's story in the way that it should be. We are a unique community. We are different than Tulsa and Oklahoma City and Enid and all of those. And so how do we tell our story? I know that previously we've talked about a Grow Stillwater website, and I think that we are looking at delivering that. That's part of our contract with the city, but I want to think about doing it in a different manner. And once we bring Carrie on, I want to see how that looks. I don't believe having one more website for an entity to look at is where we need to go. I want to create something that if you click on Visit Stillwater's website, you click on the City of Stillwater website, you click on the Chamber website, you get the same information about our community, and it tells the consistent and same story. We want people to know what our story is, and so creating that and having that information is what's important. I kind of shared that story a little bit with Oklahoma Regional Partnership, and they said that's probably where we need to be going. They actually house a website that has all of the land and businesses available in the 10-county region. I don't see us having to and want us to share our information with them, so I don't see reinventing that wheel. So I'm hoping that by the next time that we meet, you will able to see something that is a wonderful touch point into what our community and our story is, and be one more thing we can use in our wheelhouse for economic development. So I will stop there and answer any questions you guys may have.
Thank you, Elaine. Trustees, any questions?
Not a question, but a comment. You moved fast on getting a new director of development. Good job on that. I'm glad that didn't drag out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, thank you to Brady and Justin. I was very serious about if we didn't have the right people in the pool of candidates we interviewed, then you would see me up here again in the next quarter, because I think we need to have the right person, and I think it was just good timing. She's going to be a great fit.
Thanks.
Thanks, Elaine.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you being here.
You bet.
Are you going to throw her into the next one? Okay. Next up is item 5B, which is to consider recommendation from the Stillwater Reinvestment Plan regarding an implementation policy committee recommendation. But I think we have a key person missing tonight. So Brady, let us know.
Yes, the developer for this project was very apologetic. He wanted me to pass that on to the mayor and the council, but he could not be here this evening and requested that we postpone this item and bring it back to you all on February 26th at our next meeting.
Okay, I don't think we need a motion or anything to that effect, so we'll look forward to seeing that on the 26th. Any reports from the officers of the board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
With a motion and a second to adjourn SEDA, please vote. The vote of 5-0, the Stillwater Economic Development Authority is now adjourned. And at this time, I will call to order the Stillwater Utilities Authority meeting for February 5th, 2024. Trustees, action on the consent docket?
Motion to approve consent docket.
Second.
With a motion and a second to approve consent, please vote. The vote of 5-0, the consent docket is approved. Under general orders, we have item 5A, consider approval of a sole source purchase from Wedico Ozone Technologies. Chris is going to tell us more.
Good evening, trustees. My name is Chris Humes. I'm here tonight to request approval for a sole source authorization. So this picture is one of the 2 ozone units we currently have out at the water treatment plant that are made by Wedico. Mm-hmm. Inside these units, we feed oxygen and then give it a little zap with about 6,000 volts of electricity to create ozone. And then the ozone is used to oxidize bacteria, viruses, and parasites in the drinking water in order to make it safe to drink. So as part of the water treatment plant chemicals improvement project that we're working on, this system will be modified, rehabbed, and updated. Ozone systems are very complex proprietary systems. Each manufacturer has a distinct difference between their systems, and they're really not interchangeable. It's not recommended to piecemeal components from different manufacturers, as that negates the warranties and causes issues with operations on who to contact when it breaks down and needs to be repaired. For this project, we are talking about new water cooling system, a major rehab and replacement of the destruct units, and also of the power supply units. All three of these items are performance spec items and that we coordinate very closely with the selected manufacturer during the design process. Wedeco specifically designs these to work with their specific ozone generator. This is not really something that another supplier could supply, as you would, if we went to them, they would mark it up because they'd have to go back to Wedeco to get it, and so we'd end up paying more if we did that. So what we are proposing is to sole source approval for parts and services from Wedeco in order to rehabilitate the Wedeco ozone system, and also to sole source purchase will allow awarded contractor for the project to purchase parts and services from Wedeco Ozone Technologies Incorporated. No appropriations are necessary for this action. The project will be funded. So with that, I'll open it up for questions before we move on to the motion.
Trustees, any questions?
Would you explain to our young folks out here why we have to bring this before council? The sole source. Explain that. Put you on the spot there.
I was expecting technical questions.
Okay, technically explain that then.
Yeah, fair enough. So the trustees they own the water systems that provide the water services to the utility, and so anytime we want to sole source something, we can't just make that decision our own. They have to vote on it and approve it before we can take action on it. So.
As opposed to
it's really the lawyer's fault. You should let the lawyer explain it.
I should be helping.
Thank you.
Yeah, as a city and a public trust, we are required to follow state law requirements for public purchasing. In this instance, if it were construction, it'd be required to be submitted to an open competitive bid. However, under certain exceptions, such as you've got a sole manufacturer of your system that requires those parts and their warranties and maintenance and all of that, then you can meet an exemption where the trustees can approve the purchase.
Thank you.
This is a good lesson for new engineers on you don't actually get to design the things you want to build. You actually have to do it under somebody else's purchasing rules, and you got to follow all the.
And as Chris so eloquently said earlier, you don't take your Ford truck to Toyota to get it repaired.
Exactly. Well said.
All right. Further questions about the project? Chris, I know this isn't an application, or we're not talking about the actual funds at this point, but do you have any sense of what the scope of this project is from a monetary standpoint? Is this a few $100,000? Is it millions of dollars?
It's $23 million and some change. So we have loans already approved that we'll use to pay for this project.
So that's the project altogether, right? Not
correct. Oh, just
necessarily-
this part.
yeah,
Yes.
purchasing part.
I don't, because we just finished the 60% design, but I would say around maybe $2 million.
Okay. All right. What is your recommendation for us?
Okay. Motion to authorize a sole source purchase from Wedeco Ozone Technologies Incorporated for parts and services for the rehabilitation of the city's ozone system.
Trustees?
Move to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the staff's recommendation. Please vote. That item's approved with a vote of 5-0. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Any reports from the officers of the board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn the Stillwater Utilities Authority. Please vote. With a vote of 5-0, the Stillwater Utilities Authority is now adjourned, and that does conclude our meetings for the evening.